Ahead of the investigative maintenance tests on the third mainland bridge, the Lagos State government has announced its closure from midnight of Thursday, August the 23rd, to Sunday, August the 26th. The Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Ade Akinsanya, who made the announcement in a statement today, says the decision was made after extensive consultations with the Power Works and Housing Ministry. He added that the closure will enable the contractors assess the true state of the bridge before the repairs commence by the end of 2018 or early 2019. Mr. Akinsanya says all traffic management agencies, including the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, Federal Road Safety Corps and the police, among others, have been mandated to ensure smooth flow of traffic on all the other alternative roads and traffic corridors across the metropolis. The state government shelved its earlier plans to close the bridge in July after concerns were raised over indiscriminate parking of vehicles on other alternative routes, which would adversely affect traffic. Well, the Minister of Power Works and Housing has blamed overstretched infrastructure for the congestion in major cities like Lagos. Well, speaking during an interactive session on his ministry's performance, Mr. Fashola says the federal government has ordered for scanners that will be used at the Apapa port to help deal with the congestion. Correspondent Olu Phillips tells us more.
There will always be so much to talk about, owing to the number of critical portfolio he handles. And on this occasion, the Minister of Power Works and Housing is giving an update on activities of the three ministries under his watch. In no particular order, he explains to the audience the reasons why mass housing has not gotten on the way 3 years on.
There is still no empirical evidence as to what people can afford and what they will accept. There is no proven evidence. And we think that we must do this before we start to build. The house is a product, and if you don't get the product formulation, packaging, delivery right, it will fail.
When it comes to power, one variable resonates with most energy consumers: estimated billing, because of the deficits in supply of prepaid meters. The federal government says it has a solution.
One of the policies we have introduced to address meters is the meter asset provider. What we simply seek to do is to ease the financial burden on discos who are contracted. By contract, they are the ones supposed to give you meters. They sign that contract. But we think that we can intervene by allowing other entrepreneurs to supply meters under arrangement with the discos.
According to the minister, work has resumed at the second Niger Bridge project, while funds have been secured for other critical road projects.
Lagos-Ibadan, second Niger Bridge, Abuja-Kaduna, the first three that qualified there, because we finished one section of the Ilorin-Jeba. Those projects will not stop now because of funding. I don't know what new games will come. The funding problem we have overcome. Contractors are on site. They should be a go.
Clarifications were sought on several other issues. Answers were attempted at. However, infrastructural development is a priority area for the citizenry. How quickly those are deployed will be most gratifying. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
The federal government has assured of its readiness to continue to invest in infrastructure that will improve the economic well-being of the people. The Minister of Information, Mr. Lai Mohammed, stated this during a weekend visit to inspect the 93-kilometer Ilorin-Jeba highway. He also said the construction of the dualization of the road will commence in 2 weeks.
This was the state of the 93-kilometer Ilorin-Jeba highway in Ilorin, the Kwara state capital. For several years, motorists and commuters in the area experienced hardship due to the deplorable state of the road. But But the story is different now, as the federal government has completed the project, which commenced in December 2013. According to the State Controller of Works, the standard of work done is good.
The quality of work is whatever international standard, so it's comparable to any quality all over the world. So as we were constructing the road, the vehicle could not even say, you can these fellas wait for us to close the road? They immediately we construct the pavement, they play on it. It has no effect since we have been constructing it. So, and the quality is as good as it was constructed.
For a traditional ruler in one of the communities, the development has opened up the area to social and economic activities.
This is the economic live wire between the north and the south, at least on this northern part here. So fixing this road has done a whole lot of good. I mean, when I invite people come to my community, say, that road, and I say, look, when was the last time you passed there? I mean, and I'm sure you press guys have seen what we are. I mean, we are extremely grateful. It has positively affected our people.
The Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, while on an inspection tour, gave the assurance that the federal government remains committed to improving infrastructure nationwide.
You could see that there was total failure of this road. I think for me, the significant thing about this administration is that rather than put money in pockets of certain individuals, the government decided to put money in infrastructure that will affect and impact positively on the lives of everyone.
The minister did not stop at Jebba, but also moved to Niger State to inspect the palliative measures and alternatives provided for commuters along the Mokwa axis.
The Commissioner of Police in Katsina State, Mr. Mohammed Wakili, is raising an alarm over the increasing rate of rape cases in the state. He says the Katsina Police Command receives an average of 3 rape cases weekly and calls for collective efforts to put a stop to the disturbing trend. This is also as the Abia State Police Command arrests a suspected rapist in the state.
This is a press conference organized by the Katsina State Police Command to inform the media of the wave of criminality in the state and the actions of the police in fighting crime. The State Commissioner of Police uses the interaction with journalists to express concerns about the increasing rate of rape cases in the state.
We have several cases of rape. Several cases. We receive an average of 2-3 cases in a week. And it was generally small girls and some elderly people. Some are old enough to be their grandparents. They will just rape these small girls, some 7, some 8, some 9. So it's a very, very terrible thing, of which I think there is need for concerted effort, for joint effort, for collective effort, for us to see how we are going to put a stop or reduce drastically this menace.
To buttress his point, journalists were given access to a 55-year-old rape suspect who is alleged to have raped an 8-year-old girl. He denies the allegation.
To wallahi Allah shi ke da in za a yi galgala nama na a soya na rance da daraja Allah da girman Qur'ani mai tsarki ban taba ko hijabi.
The State Commissioner of Police also informs journalists of other criminal activities in the state, namely cattle rustling, and what the police is doing about it.
Some of these cattle rustlers escaped to Zamfara. So when this onslaught when that operation in Zamfara started, they started running back to us. And some, we already have intelligence on them. Some are wanted by us. And some are caught on the act. So we arrested several syndicates.
In Abia State, southeast Nigeria, the police is also dealing with rape cases and abuse of children and the underage. The police has arrested a suspected rapist in the state, as well as a 39-year-old woman alleged to have inflicted injuries with a kitchen knife on her maid.
which I'm waiting today, and I'm begging for the Lord the next.
I live inside my house and go and my friend comes.
According to the Abia State Police Commissioner, the command would not relent in its efforts to fight crime in the state.
We are saying that those who do not want to refrain from committing offense will easily be gotten.
The police also paraded suspected criminals involved in car snatching alongside a native priest who allegedly makes charms for them to prevent them from being caught by the police. As these suspects are being taken away to face the wrath of the law, it may perhaps send a strong signal to criminals that the police means business and would stop at nothing to keep the state and its residents safe.
From those security measures to art, where following the success of their maiden exhibition titled Beyond Function 1, the duo of Cameroonian artists Joe Cassie Nathalie and Nigeria's Alto Arinze are back with Beyond Function 2. The artists through this exhibition show the extra uses of materials beyond their primary function. Art Review tonight visits the Quintessence Gallery in Lagos, where the pieces are being showcased.
A regular at the Quintessence Gallery Lagos would notice that a few things have been tinkered with in the space to make room for these new arrivals, done in different shapes, sizes, and shades. It's all to accommodate the works of art done by two creative minds from diverse worlds, Jaku Natli from Cameroon and Ato Arinze from Nigeria. They came together to put up this show titled Beyond Function, the second in the series.
Beyond Function because most people used to see clay works as usual thing, to put water, to put food, to put things. And that the way to see clay works is reducing the value of the work. So we say we have to go beyond that function of utility. So we have to show works that is going out of that way to see clay works as utilitarian tools or utilitarian items. It's why we say, okay, we can do something with the title Beyond Function. You just have to look the work and appreciate it. Just to put your eyes inside, not water, not oil, not food.
A display of pottery and ceramics brings a breath of fresh air to the gallery space, which is filled with the usual paintings and other decorative items. But these two see their craft going beyond aesthetical appeal.
The idea of taking it beyond the functionality also, part of it has to do with being the works being thematic. At least each of the works are inspired by maybe some kind of experience by the artist or some kind of events that are happening within our environment, you know. So we all choose each of the design based on the themes that we have in mind.
Pottery is usually fired up with clay, while ceramists use porcelain clay to create their pieces. But the other processes involved depend on the individual.
See, I don't like repeating work. So every time I'm inspired, by the moment I have one title in my work, my brain starts working. Sometimes you can't explain why you are working. It can happen sometimes when you are sleeping. It can happen if I enter in one gallery, something can inspire me. One motif can inspire me. If I'm in a market, two people talking, it can inspire me. So it's a chemistry you can't explain 100% what is happening in the brain of the artist, yes.
It's not every time one gets to enjoy an exhibition that shows this aspect of visual art. So the show is on for a month, an opportunity for art enthusiasts to really have a feel of the potter's wheel and see the chiseled wonders that come out from a creative hand.